Okay, so general form is x squared plus y squared plus c to the x plus dy plus e equals 0. Like I said, this is more on the other side. We're going to specifically focus on this one first. And all of the homework questions pertain to this equation. Okay, so number 1, it says write an equation of a circle with the center 3, -2, and a radius of 4. So all we're going to do is plug these numbers into the equation. The center here, this is hk, and then radius of 4. So this is how it would look. X minus 3 squared plus y minus -2 squared equals 4 squared. And then we're just going to clean this up a little bit. Y minus -2 is just y plus 2, and then 4 squared is 16. So we're going to rewrite it with it a little bit cleaner. So x minus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 16. And then this is our equation for that circle. Okay. Then number 2, we're going to continue. Write an equation of a circle with center -4, 0, and a diameter of 10. So it gives us diameter, which we need radius for the equation. So we need to divide this by 2 to get the radius. So the radius is 5. Now it says to write the equation. So using the same method we did in the last problem. X minus -4. Oh, here's the template, Taylor. X minus -4 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 5 squared. You guys are being really focused today. I appreciate it. Okay, so now we're going to clean it up. X minus -4 is just going to be x plus 4. And then y minus 0 is just y, so we're just going to say y squared here. So rewriting it over here. X plus 4 squared plus y squared equals 25. Okay, as you know, each example is going to be a little bit different. They're going to bring in something new. Write an equation for the circle. Here's the center. And then the radius is square root of 11. We're going to have to square that number. So square root of 11 squared, easy enough, is just 11. So when I write it, I'm going to use 11. So x minus 2 squared plus, and then it's going to be y minus -9, so I'm just going to write down y plus 9 equals 11.
How long is the placement test, the algebra 2?
What's that?
How long is the algebra 2 placement test?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's 30 questions, 1 hour.
Did you do it already? Or
she just
oh, got it. Number 4, find the coordinates of the center and the measure of the radius. Okay, so now we're working backwards. They gave us the equation. We're working backwards to get the center and the radius. So the center would be 6, -3. So this is h and k. Notice how I did the opposite sign because that negative is part of the equation, not part of the number. And then the radius is going to be square root of 25. So square root of 25 is 5, so the radius would be 5. So far, so good? Okay. Number 5, now they gave us a picture. They want us to find the center and radius, and then from there, we can write the equation of a circle. So to start out, you have to eyeball where you think the center is, and then just check to make sure it's the center. So just kind of use spatial reasoning to figure out where you think it is, which I think is probably right here. And then once I have a spot that I think it is, then I'm just going to check to make sure it's the same distance from like the side. So if I'm saying it's at 0, 0, then from here to here should be the same units as it is here to here, and here to here, and here to here. So from 0 to 12, that's 12 units. And then from 0 to 12, 12 units. 0 to 12, that's 12 units. 0 to 12. Okay, so it's the same distance all the way around. So the center is at 0, 0. And then the radius is 12. And then from here you can write the equation.
So it would be just x squared and y squared.
X squared. Yes, we're getting there. Okay, so I just plugged in the center into the equation, and then I'll clean it up. X minus 0 is just x, and y minus 0 is y. So it would be x squared plus y squared equals 12 squared. You can plug that in a calculator. You get 144. Okay, next. Number 6, same thing, we're going to eyeball it to try to figure out the middle, and then just check to make sure that is the middle. I think it's right there, and then just count the units to make sure. Okay, so I counted all the way around, or you could use the coordinates here to figure it out. It's 7 units. This point right here is 7 units from the sides. So this is definitely the center, and then the radius will be 7. So the center is at 1, -3, and then the radius is 7.
Could you go back for 1 second?
Okay, and then once you have those numbers, you can plug it into the equation. Okay, and this example number 7. Graph the circle, identify the center and the radius. In order to graph the circle, you have to identify the center and the radius first, honestly. So center and radius. Based on this equation, the center would be at 3, 2. To find the radius, take the square root of 9, you'd get 3. The radius is 3. And then you can graph it based on this. So 3, 2. Something Karis and I noticed yesterday on these specific questions on Khan Academy, sometimes they count by like 1/2 or by 2s. So make sure the scale is by 1, however you're doing it. Let's see. And then that's center, and then the radius would be 3. So I'm just going to make a mark 3 units from the center. There's a circle. Okay, so at the beginning, I had you write this general form of a circle. What we're going to do is to go from standard form to general form. I'm going to show you the process. It brings in some of your algebra skills. For those of you taking the placement test today, it'll be a good review of, do you guys remember FOIL?
Yes.
If you don't, raise your hand if you don't remember FOIL. Some teachers use a different acronym. Okay, you don't remember FOIL. Okay.
Hearing that word.
Okay. Yeah, it's a popular word they've used for this algebra process, but some of the teachers don't use it anymore. I don't know if it's like a Common Core thing or whatever, but I'm going to teach you how to FOIL or review how to FOIL. Okay, so write the general form of this equation of a circle. What we're going to do is factor this thing out. So x minus 4 squared, we need to write that out as x minus 4 times x minus 4. And then over here, y plus 3 squared would look like this, y plus 3 times y plus 3. And then put this equal to 36. Okay, so if you're familiar with FOIL, you probably know what's coming next. I'm going to write it down. FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last, and it's how we multiply this thing out. So by first, we're going to multiply the first terms in the parentheses here. So x times x is x squared. Then outside refers to the outside terms here. So we're going to do 4 times x, negative 4 times x to get negative 4x. Why am I writing 3? I don't know. So you get negative 4x. That's outside. And then inside, negative 4 times x, so minus another negative 4x. And then the last two terms would be negative 4 times negative 4, which is 16. So we just FOILed this, factored it. That's it. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing to these two terms using FOIL. So first would be y times y squared. Outside, 3 times y. Inside, 3 times y. And last, 9. Those that hadn't heard of FOIL, do you remember doing this though? Do you remember doing this, Vinny? How did your teacher teach it then if they didn't use FOIL? Do you know?
No, I think they did now. I remember when you showed it.
Got it. The other way teachers teach it sometimes is they'll just say, okay, do x times both of these numbers, then negative 4 times both of these numbers. It works that way too.
I don't know if it was FOIL though, but I know this.
Okay, cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do now that we have all these terms is we're going to rearrange it, combine terms to get it into this format. So this is x squared plus y squared, and then it's going to be these two terms, and then the constant, and then equal to 0. So that's what we're doing down here. So we're going to get our x squared and y squared up front. X squared plus y squared. And as I bring it down, I'm just going to cross it out. Then negative 4x plus negative 4x is going to be negative 8x. I'm going to bring down these 3y's. 3y plus 3y is 6y. And then combining the constants. And then the last step is to get it equal to 0. So we need to get 36 over here. So those that are taking the placement test this afternoon, will you get a problem like this? No, but you probably will have to FOIL. That's why I went over it.
What's the placement test for?
Algebra 2 honors. Okay, One more thing I do want to go over before you do your homework. There is a couple different types of questions on the homework. One of the types of questions, actually a few of them, you might have to graph, so I'll have graph paper available. But one of the types of questions, they'll give you 3 points on the circle. So let's say they give you this point, and this point, and they say these 3 points are on a circle. Find the equation of a circle or the radius of this circle. Well, you can kind of sketch out and visualize the circle. And then these are all 5 units from this point right here. So this point must be the center. So the center would then be at 0, 0. And then the radius would be the distance from the center to the outside, which would be 5 units. And then from here, you could find the equation or whatever you need to do. Another thing that they do on this homework that wasn't in the examples is like they might say, okay, the center's at 0, 0, and this point right here is on the circle. They want to know what the radius is. So in order to find the radius, you would have to find this distance here. Guys, can you pay attention? Joshua and Brandon, appreciate it. Thank you, AV, for being so focused today. We appreciate it, all of us. Okay, so to find the radius, find the length of this line, you could use Pythagorean theorem, which we've used in the past, and you can also use distance formula. Pythagorean theorem is where we sketched out the right triangle, like this, and you could say 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared, and figure out the distance that way. Or you could use distance formula. Something I did yesterday is I printed out a formula sheet for everyone. This we're going to use over the next 6 weeks, pretty much until testing. And this is a formula sheet you'll get for the testing day, and it has distance formula right here, which you can use to find the distance, like the length of that line. Also, it has all the area and volume equations we're going to use over the next 6 weeks. So I'm going to pass this out to everyone and just keep it in your folder as we get into it. I know it seems like a lot, but in years prior, they never gave you this many formulas. So it's actually nice that they give you the formulas and you don't have to memorize them. So yeah, that's fun.
Are they gonna use formulas in the algebra 2 placement test?
I don't think you'll need it
Oh.
because it's just like solving,
Oh.
like combining like terms, that kind of stuff.